What is up, everyone? Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Ancient Armor set in Breath of the Wild. Now, the first thing you're going to notice on your screen right now is that I am wearing the chest piece of the Ancient Armor set, and the bonus that it gives you is Guardian Resist Up. And essentially what that means is I get increased defense against any attacks that come from a Guardian. Now, in order to get this kind of armor, you have to do a little bit of a subquest. What you need to do, in order to begin, is go to Akala, all the way in the top right corner of the map. Go to Ancient Tech Lab, and just like with Hateno's lab, you have to get a blue flame and light the torch of a furnace before you can start working with it. Once you do, however, you get a merchant that allows you to trade rupees and certain materials for very powerful equipment. Most of the items or equipment that you get include things like ancient swords, ancient spears, an ancient bow, and a two-handed sword, as well as ancient arrows, which I'll show you right now. So, as you can see, these are the ancient arrows, and as the description says, it deals devastating damage even against guardians. One thing that it does not tell you, however, is that if you hit a guardian in the eye, you will one-shot them from full health, no questions asked. This is extremely useful considering how dangerous, tanky, and intimidating the guardian enemies are. But after watching this video, you'll have a better idea of how to take care of them with as little stress as possible. The first time you get an arrow, you, after making a certain amount of purchases from Beetle, at least to my knowledge anyway, you get what's known as Customer Appreciation Day, and he will give you one of these free arrows. And if you guys have been following this game for as long as I have, you'll recognize these as the same arrows that they showed us in the first trailer for this game, which was way back in 2014. So, another thing that you'll need to know as well for fighting against Guardians is the fact that what's really ironic about this armor set is that you need the pieces that you get from Guardians to make Guardian fighting armor. And in order to do that, the best thing that I can recommend is getting the Master Sword before attempting any of this, simply because it becomes a 60 base power attack sword whenever you fight against Guardians. And that's going to be extremely useful for the things that we're about to do. Ancient arrows are a little bit on the expensive side, rupees-wise. The materials are pretty easy to come by, it's just that they can be quite expensive. They're like 90 rupees a piece, I don't know, yeah, we get it, most of you guys are pretty rich by now, but for the rest of us that are very stingy with our money, we like to be as sparing as possible. So that option is there as well. So, as you can see right now, I'm in Central Hyrule, and the Central Tower has like 2 or 3 guardians around it, and this whole field actually has quite a few guardians as well. When you go to the Hyrule Castletown ruins, there are quite a few things that you can do here that involve fighting the guardians. First thing you'll notice is that there are 2 variants. So there's this guy on my left who is rooted in the ground, and the guy on my right who is wandering. The ones that wander tend to drop the rarer materials, which are the ancient cores. These ones are very important because if you want to make the armor sets, you need to have 3 cores for every piece of armor. So that means a grand total of 9. As well, you can also pick up pieces from doing shrines and finding the deactivated guardians, so that's something to keep in mind as well. But for the most part though, you're going to want to be very savvy about how you encounter these guys, which I'm going to show you guys right now. So, this guy over here, you actually can't see him, but he's going to activate soon. And what I want to do is stay behind this building. Uh-oh. Whenever he tries to fire. Alright. There we go. Oh, I should probably just stay behind this. Okay, so the way that the AI works is that whenever you try to go up to them, they're gonna run away from you because they want to keep their sights on you. But if you stay out of sight, they're gonna go for you until they forget you're there. And that's gonna be really useful. One thing to note as well is that the Master Sword takes out the legs after 2 swings. So, my choice is either to just finish them off with my sword or shoot them with an arrow. I'd rather save the money, to be honest, because I only have 2 arrows left. There we go. One thing you also might have noticed is that ancient screws drop whenever you cut off a leg, so that's also very important. There's no real downside to not focusing on the legs first, because if you hit the legs first, they become more disoriented, and they'll have a harder time aiming at you. And they stagger, so if they are taking aim at you and you manage to take out a leg, then they're going to stop aiming at you, which is perfect. And you get extra parts that'll help you build more arrows or any other equipment. Since it's screws, I'm pretty sure screws only affect arrows. I might be wrong about that, but either way, they are the most common parts. Now, these guys that are rooted, approach them from behind, they can't do anything to you. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. So yeah, a screw, shaft, spring. Try saying that 3 times fast. So you have to be very aware of your surroundings here, but as long as you can find something that'll block off them and your line of sight, you're pretty safe. So long as you're not surrounded. If you're surrounded, you're pretty much screwed. So keep that in mind. So again, like, the AI, the way that it works is that when they notice you, they're going to start coming towards you when you're out of sight. But then when you're back in sight, then they're going to start running away from you. So cut off this one. Try to aim for the standing parts, because sometimes the aim can be pretty janky. And you'll end up wasting time and opening yourself up to attacks from them. So that's all the legs, and we just wail away at them. So you see how slow the health bar goes down, even though we have a 60 power sword? It's nuts, right? These things are pretty intimidating early on, and they do a hefty amount of damage. But it's just a matter of, like, explaining their AI, essentially. Because as you can see, there's quite a bit of them wandering around here. You just need to pick your vantage points and deal with them carefully. That's all you need to do. And then with that, they're actually quite easy to deal with. So again, the rooted ones, same story. Sneak up from behind. They can't do anything to you. If they do see you, just hide behind something for a very, very long time, then wait for them to turn around and not see you. Oh, yeah, see, things like that. Nope, okay, so yeah, you have to be patient with this one. Not like me, I like to run in. Like, theoretically, I could just take out an arrow and one-shot them, but these guys are the easier variants. Yeah, just wait for the lights to go out. Uh-oh, that's not good. Yeah, and if they do see you, then just wail away at them. The sword will carry you through. Now, one thing to notice, though, is the fact that even though the Master Sword's in a powered-up state, you might encounter times where it runs out of power. When that happens, just leave the map, go do something else for the next 10 minutes. You know, try to gain some more rupees and the like. Because, again, like, getting the materials is one thing, getting the rupees is another. If you've been marking down spots where to get rupees, that's going to be the thing that you'll be doing for the next 10 minutes. Just because the Master Sword is extremely useful for a thing like this. Or if you want, you can just use one of your weapons lying around. You can do that as well. But, you know, I try to aim to be as thrifty as possible. Which explains why I just have a lot of resources that I don't want to give up. Okay, so this is what I can do as well to abuse AI. Just Because he's gonna come to you. See, he's just coming to me. I don't even have to run up to it. Yeah, just come here. Come here and see me. He's almost here. Got a surprise for you. Just be really careful when you're cutting the pieces off as well, because they can do damage to you, the legs, all those sparks flying around. And he's toast, eventually. So yeah, to see like things like that happens, I'll just finish it off with... Yeah, let's finish it off with this thing. And look how much damage it takes. Just look at that. But yeah, this one drops a core. I don't know which ones do drop a core, because the way that drops work in Breath of the Wild is that they're guaranteed from certain placed enemies. So yeah, as you can see, my sword's out of power, and there's a guy over there that I'd really like to get, but I'd prefer to wait. And I'd recommend that you guys do that too. But still though, you can see that the fields are like... The field around the castle is littered with these guys, so you're not going to have too much of a problem. And they come back after the Blood Moon, so keep that in mind as well. Okay, so here we are at the Akkala Ancient Lab. I'm just going to show off what kind of things you can get. So yeah, the Ancient Arrows, they're all 90 apiece, and as you can see, I've already bought a couple, just because I can. As well, there is the Ancient Short Sword, which is weaker than the Master Sword, sure, but it does the most damage out of all the short swords, aside from the Master Sword after it gets procced. So there's that. Ancient Shield is extremely powerful shield. Unfortunately, I'm pretty content in the shield department as it is. But, you know, like, if you want that, you can get that, and it's quite powerful for it. Ancient Blade Saw, again, it's relatively easy to get, because it just costs, 2 cores, sure, but then the Ancient Screw, Ancient Shaft, really easy to come by. And, the trade-off is that it does, 5 less damage than the Boulder Smasher that you get after doing a main storyline quest. Ancient Spear, about as powerful as a Savage Lionel Spear. Ancient Bow, not a very big fan, just because, nothing's going to beat the Savage Lionel Bow, but it is there if you guys want it. So, here are the Ancient armor sets as well. You're going to need 3 Ancient cores for each piece, meaning you're going to need a grand total of 9, and then you're going to need 60 gears, and 10 springs, and then 5 screws. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have fun hunting down the Guardians. I'll admit they are quite intimidating and a bit frustrating, but if you do what I do, abuse the AI, sneak up from behind them, memorize the positioning, and just make use of your environments. That's Breath of the Wild's 101, really. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you enjoyed.